Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon to you all. Welcome to online classes for the subject physics in the grade 7. We are studying here the lesson chapter 3 energy from the pages 10 and 11. So let's see what are the learning objectives of the today's lesson. Here are the learning objectives. First, we are going to see about what is energy, and after that we will be going to look into different forms of energy, particularly kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic energy, thermal energy, electrical energy, nuclear energy. All these different forms of energy we are going to discuss in our today's discussion. So here are the pages. First of all, we are talking about the energy that is nothing but the fuel of the life. So here you can see the different forms of energies here, and also on this picture you can find out how the different forms from one form to another form, how the energy is changing. So let's talk about the energy. Energy is the capacity to do the work, and the SI unit for energy is joule. Symbol of joule, it is capital J. Here are the forms of energy, which are the commonly known forms of energy, particularly kinetic energy, potential energy, chemical energy, electrical, sound energy, nuclear energy, light energy, heat energy. All these are the different forms of energy which we are commonly known. So here, if you talk about the energy, it is an ability to do the work or make any kind of changes. So if you want to make any kind of changes, you need to have some energy for that. And as I told you, it is measured in the unit. SI unit of it is joules. Examples are here, that is when sun melts ice cream. See here the pictures where sun melts the ice cream, car engine burns the gas, electricity powers a blender, batteries run a flashlight, food enable us to do the work, it make us to run. Also, there are many more examples which we see from this picture. So these are nothing but the different forms of energies. First of all, we are going to talk about the thermal energy. In other words, we can say heat energy, where faster moving atoms collide more often and cause higher temperatures. That is, water boils on the stove. If the water is boiling on the stove, that is thermal energy. It is an example of thermal energy. Another thing that we are talking about the chemical energy, where it is stored in the atomic bonds. So here you can see the oxygen carbon oxygen bonds or other molecules like methane, water, oxygen. So heat, light, sound, which is released during the chemical reactions. That is, our body gains energy after eating is nothing but chemical energy. Another form of energy which we are talking, that is about electrical energy, which is movement of electrons. So the flow of electrons is converted into heat, light, sound or movement. That is like hair dryer, radio, light bulb, max train. All these are the examples of electrical energy. Another energy form that we are talking, that is radiant energy, or also we can say that waves. So here electromagnetic waves carry energy that our bodies interpret as heat, light, sound, that is sunlight, radio transmissions, microwave ovens, X-ray machines. These all are the examples of radiant energy. Here, the nuclear energy, which is stored in atomic nuclei. Nuclear energy, it is related with the nuclear fission or nuclear fusion, occurs when the protons and neutrons are split apart or forced together, releasing huge amounts of energy that we call it as the nuclear energy. And examples are nuclear reactors, the sun and the stars, radioactive elements, geothermal heat. All these are the examples of this kind of energy. So here, energy cannot be created or destroyed. First law of thermodynamics is saying that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another form, and the total energy in a system must remain constant. Here, the kinetic energy, which can be calculated by using the formula kinetic energy is equal to half mv square, where we can say that kinetic energy is the energy of movement, which depends on two things. The first is an object's mass m, and another that is the object's velocity v. So mv square, using this formula, we can find out the kinetic energy for the different objects. So these are the examples here. Here, the potential energy, which we call it as the stored energy due to movement against the force, which depend on three different things, namely the mass of an object, magnitude of the force, and the object's height. The mass of an object is given in the form of m, where the magnitude of the force g and the object's height h. So gravitational potential energy or the potential energy is equal to mgh, that can give you the potential energy. So here you can see the example, a big rock with the 100 kg weight, also here 100 kg mass, where you can see here the little rock with the 10 kg mass, and on the basis of their height, which is 50 meter, you can find out for the two different masses, their height, and the third thing, that is of the magnitude. So on the basis of this, we can find out the gravitational potential energy. Here the another form, here we are going to talk about the convergence between the kinetic energy to potential energy and potential energy to the kinetic energy. With the example of the boy who is with the bicycle. So here at the ground you can see that the kinetic energy is here. When the energy is gained, so the kinetic energy is reaching to the height, that we call it as potential energy. And when the energy is used here, again it is energy is released, so it comes down to the ground, that is of kinetic energy. So in this way we can represent this kinetic energy to potential energy, as well as the potential energy to the kinetic energy. Next is about some examples you can see here. The example of spring and the other examples you can see here. Also the batteries that store the energy. This car is using the energy, lot of energy it is being used by this car. Even we can see that this puppy is sleeping, so he is also using the stored energy, and the food whatever we are eating is also we are getting the energy from this food. These are the different examples. Here are some forms which we call it as the chemical energy, where the energy that is available for release from the chemical reactions that we have just now seen. Also, the nuclear energy is the energy stored in the nucleus of an atom, and the nuclear energy is unusual in that it can be given off energy in the form of light or heat. heat. You can see here the nuclear reactions, they are releasing the energy. So last we are going to talk about the sound energy, where sound energy is the movement of molecules in the air that that produces vibrations, giving us the sound. With this, I am going to conclude here the today's lesson. I'll be back with the new video. Till then, thank you and goodbye.